Do you remember the last time something made you truly happy? Not content, not distracted, not entertained. Actually, happy. That warm feeling that starts in your chest and spreads through your whole body. That lightness, that aliveness. When was the last time you felt that? Last week? Last month? Last year? Or has it been so long you can't even remember what it feels like? Let me take you back. Childhood, adolescence, your early 20s. A dessert was an event. A new movie was anticipated for weeks. A song you loved was played on repeat 50 times. Hanging out with friends was the highlight of your week. Joy had weight, pleasure had value. Novelty was rare. And precisely because it was rare, it was intense. You remember, don't you? When going to the mall was exciting, when getting a letter or even a text could make your entire day, when buying something new kept you happy for weeks, when watching your favorite show was the most anticipated moment of the week. Back then, dopamine worked. Your reward system was intact. You felt things. Life had texture, opening a birthday gift, the first bite of your favorite meal, finishing a book you loved, hearing a compliment and actually believing it. These moments landed, they resonated, they lasted, they mattered. But something has changed. You don't know exactly when. It wasn't a single moment. It was a slow erosion, like soil losing its nutrients, like taste buds going numb, like color draining from a photograph. And now you're here, surrounded by everything, feeling nothing. In the early 1800s, Ireland was a land of abundance. The soil was rich, the climate was perfect, and the potato, simple, hardy, reliable, grew easily. Families planted, families harvested, families ate. Life was simple, and people were grateful. Each harvest was a celebration. Each meal was nourishment. Each season brought new growth. The land was generous, but beneath the surface, something was changing, quietly, invisibly. A fungus was spreading through the soil, and no one saw it coming. It was gradual. You bought something new, and the excitement lasted 3 days, then 2 days, then a few hours. Then you didn't even take it out of the box. You watched a series, and immediately needed another one. The ending didn't satisfy you anymore. The journey wasn't enough. You went out with friends, but checked your phone every 5 minutes. You were there, but you weren't there. And something new started to appear. Chronic boredom. Not the healthy boredom of a lazy afternoon, but a corrosive boredom. A boredom that screams, "This isn't enough, I need more." Netflix open, scrolling for 20 minutes, nothing looks interesting. Food you once loved now tastes just okay. Achievements that would have filled you with pride are now just check marks. Music that used to give you chills is now background noise. People who used to excite you now exhaust you. You blame the things. This movie is bad. This food isn't as good as I remember. People got boring. But it's not the things, it's you. Something inside you has changed. Your ability to feel pleasure is fading, and you try to fix it the only way you know how. More content, more food, more shopping, more stimulation. But it doesn't work. The more you consume, the less you feel, like drinking salt water to quench your thirst. In 1845, Irish farmers noticed something strange. The potatoes were different, smaller, weaker, spotted with dark patches. Some ignored it. Just a bad year. Next harvest will be better. But it didn't get better, because the problem wasn't on the surface. It was in the soil. An invisible fungus, Phytophthora infestans, was spreading, killing the roots, destroying the land's ability to produce nourishment, and no one could see it, until it was too late. Let's talk about what actually happened. Dopamine is not pleasure. Dopamine is motivation. It's the chemical that makes you want, not the chemical that makes you feel. And the modern world hacked it. Apps, notifications, novelty, dopamine spike food, ultra-processed, artificial flavor, dopamine spike porn, infinite, free, dopamine spike shopping, one click, fast delivery, dopamine spike series, autoplay, next episode, dopamine spike. Your brain receives dopamine spikes hundreds of times per day. And here's the problem. The more dopamine you get, the fewer receptors you have. It's called downregulation. Your brain, trying to protect itself from overload, shuts down dopamine receptors, like covering your ears at a concert that's too loud. Things that used to give you pleasure now activate nothing. A book, too slow. A conversation, too boring. A walk, not enough stimulus. A hobby, where's the immediate reward? You're not depressed, necessarily. You're desensitized. Your reward system has been burned out, like a musician who listened to loud music for too long. Now even a symphony sounds like a whisper. When dopamine receptors downregulate, your baseline drops, meaning you need more and more stimulus to feel the same amount of pleasure. But the pleasure never comes, because you're chasing a ghost. This is why you can binge Netflix for 8 hours, but can't read for 10 minutes. You can scroll TikTok endlessly, but can't sit in silence. You can eat an entire bag of chips, but fresh fruit tastes bland. You can watch porn for hours, but real intimacy feels empty. Your brain has been trained to expect instant, intense, effortless rewards. And real life? Real life is slow. Real life requires effort. Real life is subtle, so real life feels like nothing. 1845 to 1852, the Great Famine. The blight spread. Every field in Ireland was infected. Farmers planted. Nothing grew. They planted again. Nothing. There was food elsewhere in the world, but Irish soil, unique, specific, adapted over generations, was dead. People had seeds, they had water, they had will, but the soil didn't respond anymore. 1 million people died, not from lack of food in the world, but from the soil's inability to produce nourishment. Your brain is the soil. Dopamine is the nutrient. And you planted too much, too fast, without rest. Now, nothing grows. Anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. It's not clinical depression. It's not deep sadness. It's absence. A void where color used to be. Symptoms. You do things that should be fun and feel nothing. Achievements that would have filled you with pride. Hollow. People you love, but you don't feel the connection. Victories, but no taste of victory. Music, movies, food, sex, all flat. No peaks. You're not sad. You're numb. And that's worse. Because sadness you can feel. Emptiness? Emptiness is the absence of feeling. Why it's happening. 1. Constant overstimulation. Your brain never rests. 2. Instant rewards. Nothing requires effort, so nothing has value. 3. Infinite comparison. Your life versus the highlight reel of billions. 4. Lack of struggle. Easy wins don't activate deep dopamine. 5. Emotional loneliness. Shallow connections don't feed the soul. You're living in a world of abundance. Infinite content. Infinite food. Infinite options. But your soul is starving. Because volume is not nourishment. The analogy. During the famine, people tried to eat anything. Grass, tree bark, dirt. Their stomachs were full, but their bodies were starving. Because bulk is not nutrition. You consume infinite entertainment, but your brain is famished. Because stimulus is not satisfaction. Hedonic adaptation. Humans adapt to everything. You buy a new car, happy for 2 weeks, then it's just the car. You get a raise, happy for a month, then it's your new normal. You hit a goal, happy for a day, then you need the next one. This is biology. Your brain returns to baseline. But the modern world has accelerated this exponentially. Before, you adapted slowly. Now, instantly. You have access to everything now, so nothing is special. The loop: boredom. Seek stimulus. Brief peak. Return to boredom. Need more. Repeat. And with each cycle, the peak needs to be bigger. Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, 3-second reels. Normal dinner, restaurant, delivery. Ultra-processed garbage conversation, text, meme, emoji. Everything gets faster, more intense, more empty. You're on a treadmill, running faster, sweating harder, breathing heavier, but you're not going anywhere. The analogy: after the famine, farmers tried to plant again. More fertilizer, more water, more effort, but the soil was dead. Working harder didn't help. The soil needed to rest. Your brain is the same. You don't need more stimulus. You need less. Let's be clear. This isn't a quick fix. This isn't a hack. This isn't 3 easy steps to happiness. This is rehabilitation, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. Step 1. Dopamine detox, the fallow period. You need to let your brain rest, not forever, but long enough for your receptors to upregulate again. 30 days. No social media, no binge watching, no junk food, no porn, no mindless scrolling. Your brain will scream. It will beg for stimulus. Let it. This is withdrawal. This is healing. What will happen? Week 1. You'll feel restless, anxious, bored out of your mind. Week 2. You'll feel empty, like nothing matters. Week 3. You'll start noticing small things: a bird, a breeze, a smile. Week 4. You'll feel the first sparks of real emotion again. It's not dramatic, it's subtle, but it's real. Step 2. Reintroduce friction. Joy doesn't come from ease, it comes from effort. The things that require struggle are the things that satisfy deeply. Replace audiobooks, physical books, slower, harder, richer. Delivery, cooking from scratch. Effort equals appreciation. Scrolling, walking without headphones. Boredom equals insight. Texting, face-to-face conversations. Vulnerability equals connection. If it doesn't require effort, it won't activate deep dopamine. Step 3. Micro joys, relearning to feel. Joy doesn't return in a flood, it returns in drops. Start noticing the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the taste of water when you're actually thirsty, the texture of fabric, the sound of silence, the relief of stretching. These aren't small joys, they're foundational joys, the kind your ancestors felt, the kind your brain was designed for. Step 4. Earn your dopamine. Stop seeking pleasure. Start seeking accomplishment. Real dopamine, the kind that lasts, comes from creating something. Art, writing, building. Mastering a skill. Learning, practicing, improving. Helping someone. Service, connection, impact. Overcoming challenge. Discipline, persistence, growth. These require effort. These require time. These require you to be uncomfortable. But these feed your soul. Step 5. Embrace boredom. Boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is the reset button. When you're bored, your brain enters a state called the default mode network. This is where creativity happens, insights emerge, meaning is found. You remember who you are, but you've been running from boredom for years. Stop running, sit with it, let your mind wander. The analogy completes. After the famine, it took years for the soil to recover. Farmers had to let the land rest, rotate crops, rebuild nutrients slowly, plant with patience. The soil didn't heal overnight, but eventually, green returned, life returned, joy returned. You won't wake up one day suddenly happy. It doesn't work like that. But one day, you'll notice. You laughed, and it was real. You tasted something, and it was delicious. You felt grateful, and it wasn't forced. You looked at the sky, and it was beautiful. And you'll realize the world didn't change. You changed. You stopped chasing. You stopped consuming. You stopped running. And in the stillness, joy found you again. What you'll rediscover: the pleasure of a slow morning, the satisfaction of finishing something hard, the warmth of real connection, the peace of doing nothing, the beauty of being alive. Not because you added more, but because you removed what was suffocating you. Your brain is not broken, it's exhausted, and it's been waiting for you to let it rest. From a neurological standpoint, dopamine receptor, upregulation. When you remove supernormal stimuli, your brain begins producing more D2 receptors, the feel-good receptors. Studies show full recovery takes 60 to 90 days. Serotonin stabilization. Constant novelty seeking disrupts serotonin, contentment chemical. Rest restores baseline serotonin, reducing the need for constant stimulation. Default mode, network reactivation. When you stop bombarding your brain with input, the DMN, responsible for meaning-making, creativity, and sense of self, comes back online. Prefrontal cortex recovery, impulse control, delayed gratification, and emotional regulation improve within 4 to 6 weeks of reduced overstimulation. You're not broken, you're overloaded. And the cure isn't adding more, it's removing what's drowning you. Your capacity for joy is still there, buried, dormant, waiting. You just have to stop digging it deeper and let it breathe again.